Okay, so I was reading a chat in between, and also at the end, someone of you asked why there is a null are coming. So let's share a screen again, and let me explain you why exactly it was coming null. So here, what happened? Like this is the things which I explained. So what happened once you start like name and address, like something like that. In that case, you can see this information name address belong at the same place. What does it mean? Like information doesn't have any record. Information has a null records because inside information there is a nothing. At a, it's same like that. Ankit, Amit, Prasant, Silpa. There is no such a relation. But if I will say like that, Prasant Kumar, so Kumar comes inside a Prasant. So here within information there is a name. Within information there is an address, and within address we are taking this city as an one entity. For an example, also you may do like a postal code, a zip code. I'm just putting a code
In front
double
of
one
address,
double
why
zero
it is
double one.
not coming as null?
Yeah, yeah, just sorry.
In front of address, why it is not coming null if in front of information it is coming null? Because in front
Yes,
of address, nothing is mentioned.
just 1 second. I'll be explain that part. Here you can able to see now there is a no null is coming. Why information in front of information there is a null was coming? Because the name and address both started at the same line where information get started. So basically it was not, you can see this space, it was not inside the information sector. For a simple example, like here it's in a code. If I will remove this and I will run, it will become like a null because there is no information for the code. You got my point? So that was the reason it was coming null. If it will be not information inside that, it will become a null values. Still someone is joining. Okay, so now I'm coming back again to JSON part. How much of you guys knows about a JSON? Can you put in a chat along with the definition what you know about the JSON? Can just put in a chat what does a JSON mean? I can see from Mukta JavaScript object notation. Yeah, that's cool. JSON means stored and transfer the data. Syntax is the same as Python dictionary. Okay. Parsing. Yeah, that's thanks, Tariq. I can see most of that you saying that what's a full name. Also, like that, a lot more whites become very popular in one line. If someone say, it could be very impressive. Data format for any programming language. JSON is a platform independent. Thanks, Harmanjit. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's back again to JSON part. Thanks all of you to share it. Just a second. So JSON means, as a lot of you say, that JavaScript object notation. So that means that's called we basically in JSON part. That's the full form, but there is no relation with JavaScript. Don't confuse. JavaScript is a scripting language. So don't it's not having any relation with the JavaScripts. It's self-describing and easy to understand. That's the another part. It's really very easy to understand it and describe itself. Why JSON is very popular? Because it's a lightweight comparison to XML. Suppose if you have to do any information like we are talking in English. Why English is very popular? Because it's also very lightweight. Only 26 alphabet if you compare to Hindi, Chinese, or any Telugu, any other languages. So basically, because of its lightweight, it's very smooth. It's very efficient. So that's why JSON is becomes very, very and very much popular. And at the moment now, where basically all the application moving toward microservices, the usage of JSON becomes higher and much higher. So I will also say I will also use Hindi, which I made in my past session. So बेसिकली जेसन इसीलिए ज्यादा यूज हो रहा है क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा लाइट वेट है और ये लाइट वेट होने के कारण बहुत इफेक्टिव है जिसकी वजह से आपकी स्पीड बढ़ जाती है गेटिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन या एक्सचेंजिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन कास्ट कम पड़ जाता है क्योंकि लाइट वेट है तो इजीली आपके नेटवर्क और जो भी क्लाइंट और सर्वर के बीच कम्युनिकेशन है उसमें इजीली रिक्वेस्ट और रिस्पांस जाएगा अगर ये हैवी रहेगा तो आपको हैवी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की जरूरत होगी इन टर्म ऑफ मेमोरी एंड स्टोरेज आई एम स्पीकिंग तो इन सारे रीजन की वजह से जेसन बहुत पॉपुलर है और ये बहुत इजी है आई मीन एज आई टोल्ड यू इट्स सेल्फ डिस्क्राइबिंग हियर यू कैन सी लाइक अ पर्सन हैविंग नेम एज एंड कार जिसका a person name having name John age 30 years and he don't have a car. So basically you may describe a person like that into a JSON format. Now it's clear for everyone the purpose of JSON, what does it means? Just put in a chat because I'm giving a small assignment again. Good. So now you have to design a JSON for yourself where you can put your name, again address and city, these three things. So just uh, write in a chat, design a JSON for yourself, like a person object you may consider it, where you have to be captured three information: name, address, and city. And very simple. Keep it simple. The same YAML you have to design a JSON. Whatever you have did for YAML part, same you have to do for JSON as well. You have to capture three information: name, address, and city. Prasant, name, address, Pune city, Pune. Rahul, Rahul, you are missing few things. Very basic. Priyanka, name, Priyanka, address, name Mukta, address city Delhi, code 54. Yeah, Mukta, very good. Almost reached. Name Harmanjit, address Punjab city Mohali. Really good, Harmanjit. Okay, so I'm back to my question. I asked and explained YAML part, and I asked that similar thing you may design for JSON as well. There was a trick actually, which all of you guys had been missed. I mean, there was a logic part as well. So name and address. But if you can follow your JSON part, so there is a three information: name, address, and city. But name and address belong at the same place where city or postal code comes inside an address. You got that trick? You guys done very good on JSON perspective. I can see most of them like put very well, really understand the JSON. Archana, you have to be again go through on the JSON and have a look because it was not appropriate from your side. But Harmanjeet, Mukta, and other I can able to see Tariq also did very well. But now this is a simple form. As I told you, let's do simple, which you did. Now let's bit a complex. Complex means our object have inside an entities. So now you have a think on the YAML perspective. I'm posting a YAML into a chat. You have to think on that perspective and design a JSON. What exactly it should be, or how exactly it should be. Put some thought as well. I mean, put some in logic as well. How you have to be designed. So this is the YAML. Based on the YAML, you have to be design your JSON. Put your name, whatever your city, and what your postal code. Now convert this YAML to JSON. If you have done this part, then you are able to understand both YAML and JSON, and then it will be very easy for you to understand APIs. Think guys, take your time, 4 to 5 minutes, and design the JSON of this YAML. And I will also let you know why I asked this. What's the importance of YAML and JSON, and what is the main purpose when I asked you to design it? Harmanjit, if you can see that you are missing a basic syntax of JSON now as well. In your last part, you did well, but look, there will be no dash for city and postal code. That for that YAML perspective, because YAML work only on the syntax basis. There is no nothing else. But for JSON, there is a format, there is a structure which you have to be follow. So it's 1 out of 5, I will say. For Mukta, yeah, information name, Mukta address. Well done, Mukta. Really good and really impressive, I will say. Susmita, name, address, city. No, Susmita, add city is inside an address. Look that how Mukta has been designed. Others, guys, are you still writing or I'm waiting for 1 or 2 more minutes. Maybe in between, if someone of you can put and write. Okay. Yes, information, Laksh, address, city, Delhi. Yeah, cool. Really very good. So let me share a screen again on that part. Mm, just 1 second. Let me open a Notepad plus plus to explain and also compare both. Okay, let me share a screen now. So are you able to see this my Notepad plus plus? So here this was an YAML part where you can see within this information there was a name and address which you capture. Within address there is a city and postal code. So when you start with the JSON, so JSON always started within a curly braces, and this curly braces is known as an object. Object, what is an object? That if I will start, then it will be another conversation. But for a time being, you may note down that this belong to an object. After this session, you may explore what is an object. In the next call, I will explain and also touch what exactly object and how it's related to JSON part. So this curly braces for a time being you can understand is an object. Object is an entity like an house, like an store, where all the other key attributes come inside an object like properties, method, function. So those arrays, those are the things come inside an object. So object is an entire things of an entity. For a movement being, you may just uh, think, and let's keep on that perspective. So you start with the curly braces, then there's an information. Everything basically as whatever this basically we call key, and this we call value. So whatever the key, basically everything it will be an string format, and the value whatever data type you are giving, like here it was a name. So maybe you just uh, copy this name. This name can't be number or character, so basically it goes like an string. Everything in inverted comma, it's come like a string. Everything in single commas is good and a character. And if we will not define anything, it will be go to that null object. And if we have to define any digital thing, so we have to be do like that. So for character, like if ABC, it's an a string data type, it's an a, so it's an character, it's an null, it's an integer. So these are a basic data type which I'm also touching here because it's also important to understand it. From your chat, I found that some of you guys also missed the data type as well. So whatever the key, everything will be a string. Whatever you got the string, right? This we call string where there is a combination of characters which become a letter. So everything inside that it will be a double inverted comma, which is a string. So here when we're talking about the information part, so within information you can able to see there are two main things. One is name and one is an address. So one is information, and the second at the same line, we will start address as well. But within address, if there will be only name and address, so I can do like that. But you can see within address, there is a two information. One is a city and one is a postal code. So basically what happened, you can't do like that way. You have to be make an big bracket because it's store a multiple information. That's why here from Mukta and other guys you can able to see they use this big bracket. Now within big bracket there is a city again. So now you have to design again like that. Once you have a big bracket, it's not like that you can do this city and type like that. Okay, city is Pune. It will be again equally wrong. Then within big bracket you have to be start curly braces because everything in the JavaScript will be considered within a curly braces. But now what else wrong? This is a city. This should be a string. This is also a string. This should be a Pune. And after that, you have to put comma as well. If you missed, then it will be not considered as a next entity and your JSON will be not appropriate. The next was a postal code. Within address, you can able to see the next was a postal code. I didn't put anything. If I will not put anything by default, when you send a request or when it will use for the information exchange, it will become a null. If you put 1234 like something is in postal code which is an integer, you don't need to put into an comma part. So now you can able to see this is your complete extension part respective to of this YAML. Is that clear? Guys, just put in chat YRN because we are using a digital platform. So just put yes or no in chat. Later on, I'm going to explain that why this is YAML is important and why this is JSON is important and what is why I'm putting much effort to explaining you guys because these are a very basic like A B C D E for alphabet which is important to learn in English. So Equally, YAML and JSON is important to learn an API. So as I explained that when I was explaining you YAML, so YAML is in a contract between two system, between two parties. Provide sorry, API is in a contract between two parties, not YAML. So to define a API, we called specification. We used YAML. So YAML is an specification for an API. You may note this line in term of API perspective. What is the using of YAML? Because I saw in a conversation, couple of you guys that whether YAML is still relevant or in use. So the use of YAML to define an specification of an API. Specification means whatever in a contract, like that if you're purchasing an house, so you sign a contract. I mean, those are the papers where all those details are written. So when you design an API, you follow this YAML, because you can see I follow this YAML and build this JSON request. How I build this, because I follow this specification. And for specification perspective, there is a Swagger editor, which is part of Open API, which you may see it. So you may also for a time being note down Swagger and Open API, which you may see after this after this session, because those are a bit high things. I don't want to pitch now, but I wanted to that those two things like Swagger and Open API should be in your knowledge. So just put for a time being as in your notes that those two things and that perspective. Just one more minute. So this was the YAML and this was the JSON. Let me also, we did a hard work, right? To basically translate from this YAML to JSON. Because what happened like that when we start a new project, suppose for an weather application, so there are two parties, one called the business parties, one we call the IT parties. So we started from here actually. Okay, what are the information will be exchanged? So we designed this YAML, and if both parties agreed, okay, yeah, this should be a perfect, then basically developer start to design the development activity, tester start to that testing activity, they started to work on that perspective. So the significance of YAML from the business and IT perspective as in a contract. And we did a lot of hard work to translate it. I mean, from YAML to JSON. But when we work, we really don't put such an effort to convert from YAML to JSON. What we do, let me share a screen now for you. There are a lot of tools are coming at the moment, so we just use those tools. You can see recently I explained that this your YAML lint, that how you can validate it. The next tools like that, a lot of tool is there, so don't worry about that. That's only one tool. You may do on Google like YAML to JSON converter or JSON to YAML converter. You can able to find it. I'm changing this name because this is getting since last like this is the name. Okay. Some So here what happened, like this is the information for the YAML part, and when developers start working or tester start working when they got a YAML, so they can just convert YAML to JSON, and from here you will able to get it. So because for now it's a very small one, suppose if it's a very heavy YAML exchange information like 100 or 200 of lines, and if you will start converting it, it will take 1 week or few days, depend upon the effectiveness and expertise. So it's waste of time at the moment. You can just translate and proceed. So that's the another tool, and that's one which I like it because I can able to see the other others as well. And you may search YAML to JSON in chat. You can find a lot. So that's also equally a key important tool for a YAML to JSON converter or JSON to YAML converter. Also, it can be vice versa as well. Like if I'm removing this one, I mean, this was JSON to YAML and there was a YAML to JSON as well. So from here, I have to be searched because I went from JSON to YAML part. Let me see what else. Like convert. You may explore it as like that. You can also convert from YAML to JSON and JSON to YAML both in a vice versa. So just check. Okay. So now it's clear YAML and JSON. Guys, please put yes or no if you're still having doubt on that part. Yes, thanks, Tariq. Because I can't see you, so good to have. I can able to understand through chat. So we have done this JSON part as well. Let's see what we have done today. Don't worry about that part. Like noting each and everything or writing each and everything. Try to understand concepts. Write only the minimum things which I'm saying because you will get this recording. So no worry about that if you missed anything or you have lost. So don't be focused on the writing or keeping the notes. You will get a recording. You can go many times as long as you wanted to go. You can ask your queries over there. So don't worry about that. Always try to be focused to understand the things and write only those terms which I'm asking you. So we have understand the API part, we have understand the YAML and JSON part. For the today, the last topic, we will going to be focus on, we will going to be understand the REST APIs. That's the next topic which I'm going to explain now. Are you able to see a screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Look here, there was another example which I was explaining you to earlier, like food item. Here you can able to see like that there was a food items within vegetables, there's a tomatoes, within fruits there is a citrus, tropical and nuts. So similar part when we came to YAML, you can able to see how exactly it has been designed. Everything within a curly braces, within food items, there is a two object. What is one is vegetable, one is fruits. So one you can see we put this brackets and then within curly brackets we started vegetable. Within fruits there are three different fruits. uh, we'll again start with the curly braces: citrus, orange, tropical, bananas and nuts, peanuts. So these again you can able to see complete translation from YAML to JSON. Okay. Yeah, as I told you that we are going to be focus our next topic REST API. So before going to be start directly to REST API, I already explained you the surrounding things YAML and JSON. Can anyone let me know what are the web services? A type of web services into chat within 1 or 2 minutes. I need answer in one line, not to be in many lines, and don't copy and paste from the Google. You can write in your own word, and if you don't know, you may write N as well. So if I'll be really happy if someone can just let me know 1 or 2 lines what are the web services. So Really very good. I can see from most of you guys. All web services are API, but API are not web service. Okay. Web services are APIs here. Almost you can say that. SOAP and REST both are a type. XML, RPC, and others as well. Sending the request and getting the response from server or network. I mean, this is not actually the web service. Web service lies between your server and basically consumer, our server and client. So it's between, as I explained you earlier, I make a diagram that okay, there's an interface. So it's an interface actually. Web services type, SOAP and REST. Yeah, thanks Harmanjit. Really good. RPC is one of the another service. Get and post is not a web service. Get and post is a method of REST APIs. I'm going to explain in upcoming topic. All web services are APIs, but API are not web service. Uh, no, not exactly. REST is one type of that services too. Same as an API, only it's over the network. No, not only over the network. That provide information after requesting. Okay. Yeah, then let me come to that tab. I will cover that. Okay, what exactly REST and SOAP. So SOAP is known as a simple object access protocol, and REST is known as a representational state transfer. Basically, these two are a different and famous, known and popular services for the web services part. Bas- At the earlier, basically, a SOAP was only one of that API or service, and since last few years, not last few years, but almost 7, 8 or 10 years, basically REST comes slightly, and now it's increasing more and a more market area for the API implementation. So at the time being, now REST becomes very much popular over the SOAP. So basically, there are quite more like XML, RPC, and others, but we are going to be only discuss on only SOAP and REST, and our mainly focus on the REST part. Why that I will also explain. So okay, just 1 second. I was thinking whether it's okay. So basically, as I explain you like that, okay, there are two web services, two different kind of services which are getting used a lot. One is a SOAP and one is a REST. So the thing is, in the REST part, why it's become very popular because it's a lightweight. And why it's lightweight? Because for the if you look on the SOAP part, so SOAP web services are using XML based information. So earlier there was only one service which is used we called for a message information, and we used SOAP. But become this area when HTTP become very popular and having lot of securities and other things which has been resolved, then all the application and the new application has been moved to the REST. I will again come later on those two topics why everything is moving from SOAP to REST and why SOAP REST become very popular. Once I explain both SOAP and REST, then for you it will be very easy to distinguish. Okay, what are the important things within REST and important thing within SOAP, and why there's a advantage of REST over SOAP. So that you will get to know in coming topic. So let's focus on that REST part. So REST, as per name, you can see that representational state transfer. That's an basically that's an architectural style. You can say that basically REST is an architectural style to make APIs simpler in their design and more useful in the implementation. As I explain you like that, when HTTP become very popular, then basically REST become strong. So how REST will communicate? REST API communicate via HTTP request to perform standard database function like creating, reading, updating, and deleting. These we call CRUD operation. I mean, what you can perform on a database operation. Either you can read the data from database, either you can insert a data from database. You can also update the information in database, or you can delete. So to inform a CRUD operation, we can use this REST method or REST APIs. You are clear about the APIs, right? And I can go back again and take a minute for that API part. Let's go and just have a look where the initial diagram it was. So what happened? I explain you. I'm coming back on this part because I started the REST API. So I told you like this is basically provider. Let's talk about now provider and consumer terms because server and client can be also done without an APIs. So this is basically your provider, and this from you can see you can either browse from the laptop or either you can browse from the mobile. You can basically get the weather information from this application. In between there is an interface which is an API. So what happened, this is an this you may consider is an a REST API. So instead of API you may consider this is an a REST API. So instead of whatever information you are getting, you can't directly connect with this database. That happened in our previous approach, that there was a no such an interface. Basically there was a one system. Between that, what happened, you send a request, it goes to database and reply back to your information back. This was in your previous approach, but now you can see this is only a server. There is no such an UI, no such an screens, it just hold the applications, and you are getting the information through APIs. You may call this screens as well. And here when you send a request, so the REST API handle your request and response part. So this is the important factor, like how or what is the benefit of having an API. The another advantage you can see, you have only one server and you can get the information in your browser, in your mobile, or any other device as well, like a tablet. If it will be one application, so what happen, if it will be only one application, so you have to be build three application. One for your browser like http.weather.com, it will be a standalone one application. Then for your mobile you have to build another application. For your tablet you have to build another. For each device, for each consumer, you have to be build one application. Now what happened, you make a centralized application, enterprise application, which give the information. You expose the API, and through API all these devices getting the information. You don't need say five database for the five different devices or browser, etc. So you need only one enterprise application and the information will be exchanged through REST API. Is that clear? Or I can give another example. Please let me know if you're clear about that. Okay, the API terms in term of REST API. I explained previously and now I refer to that in term of REST APIs. Okay, now I'm coming back where we were actually. So as I told you that we use this information like get, post, put, delete. These are a HTTP method. How many of you understand the protocol and what are the different protocol? Can you tell me two protocol name? Can anyone let me know the two protocols name? Or what is a protocol? Yes, Amit. HTTP,
Set
HTTPS is
of
one of the
encryption.
protocol. Yeah,
Yeah.
TCP, IP, SMTP, cool for the mail transfer. So yeah, these are the protocol. So as I explain you, why I asked that, as I explain you that REST follow the HTTP protocol. It works only on the HTTP protocol, not like SMTP, FTP protocols or TCP IP protocol. Those are a different protocol which use like SMTP or FTP. FTP is known as a file transfer protocol where you can directly send a file, etc. If you have to put a file on a server, you will use FileZilla or any other FTP protocol to place a file. But to exchange information by using REST, you have to be use HTTP protocol only. And it purpose I already explained you. Now, what are the HTTP method? Already you can see get, post, put, delete. But do you know any other method or how many method within the HTTP? That's fine. So basically, HTTP having seven or six or seven methods, but in REST we are using these four because we have to follow the CRUD operations like create, read, update, and delete. So if you retrieve a data, for an example, again, let's go to that weather part. So if you have to be retrieve a data, let me go again. If you have to retrieve the data, or suppose you open a app like weather from your mobile, and you can see what are that the current temperature or current weather. It's cloudy, sunny, partially cloudy, etc. So can tell me which HTTP method it will call. I already explained you there are few HTTP method which I'm going to explain bit more, but for the information perspective, I just asked, okay, what are the HTTP method here it will used to find the information or retrieve the information? Can anyone put in chat? Get true. So here you can see get is used to retrieve the records. One second, someone came. Who is coming? Okay, you can see get is retrieve record. So basically, you are getting a weather information from the server. So it will be a get method. If you have to be insert something. Suppose you have an employee database or employee server where all the employee details are there. If a new employee is joining, so you will insert the record. For that part, you will use a post method. If you update something, update means like that employee address has been changed. So your request will be put and delete as per name. You can able to understand if you have to delete a record. So these are four popular or main method for the REST part. One popular question always get asked: what is the difference between post and put? Which you may kept and explore
Post is
because
a
you can.
created and put is a recorded.
Yeah, but what you can do, post is create and put is an update a record. To sending an information, it seems like that how exactly, I mean, let me share a screen again. Go to that notepad plus plus. So what happen when you have to be when it will be the REST API will be work. You can send a text, you plain text, you can send a JSON. So anything you can send as in a format. JSON is a popular form, or JSON is a popular way to exchange the information over REST API. So that is the advantage of using JSON. And why it is? Because JSON parsing is quite fast. That's why REST API become very popular and very effective. That is the main reason actually. REST over SOAP. The other reason I will explain with the points. But one of the reason when I moved here, I explain you what is the one advantage of using REST API by using JSON, because the parsing is quite fast, or very fast, not quite fast, I will say. So once you have to update, or once you have to be insert, you have to send the information like that. Suppose I have to be insert a Prasant information, so I have to be sent this JSON part. For both post, uh, put and delete, I have to send this is an object, but this is not required for a get. For get, you don't need to be send anything. So you have to just send like that. You wanted a Prasant information that will be append in your API and you will get it. So, but for the other part, you have to send a object in a body. I will also explain in the practical part by using a Postman. So for now, just for your information that how the request response structures goes. Okay. So you understand this point. I was looking at okay, the we can bit soap covered. Yeah. So soap. Also, I explained that okay, what is a REST? It's work on the HTTP protocol and it's use JSON. It also text and other information as well in the body to exchange the information. JSON is one of that famous way or popular way to exchange the information. Let's talk about the SOAP. I'm not covering, our main focus will be on arrest, but don't be lose the SOAP because it 20% is still there are the SOAP services which are still getting used. So to become a tester or developer, you should know about that. Okay, how it works, what it is exactly. So can anyone are you aware about or not? It's fine, but I will start from the very basic. Like SOAP is a protocol which is known as a simple object access protocol, which is designed before REST. As I explained you, it was the only one APIs you can say. On that time, there was a no key term API is getting used. We are using a services. Only one services are used, which is called a SOAP. Then XML RPC also come at the same time, but it was only for a feed, news feed perspective, not for that message exchange. Then SOAP used to ensure that program built in a different platform programming language could exchange data in easy manner. Yes, there is one thing which I missed actually. Uh, what is the advantage of an API? If anyone asks, you can say that platform independent. That was also one biggest reason it's become very popular. You have, suppose you have your application in .NET, your weather application in .NET. I am a Java based application. I want in my dashboard, I wanted to show the what is the current weather. I don't need to worry about that whether your application is .NET based, Java based, CC plus based. I can use any technology from the consumer side to retrieve your information. That's why we called a platform independent. You got that point? So that also one of that advantage region. If I can go back again on our diagrams. So what does my mean actually here? This application, which we call provider, whether it's a .NET based, Java based, C++, doesn't matter. It can be any programming language based, but in our consumer part, it can be in any language. It can be in Python, it can be C++, it can be Java, this can be C++, this can be Java, and this can be .NET. And still this entire system will be work. But in our legacy way, there was a no such an way because everything was an one system, which is we called a monolithic, everything within one things, and there was a no such an way to extract the information. So that was that and other popular things of web services, because it's an language independent, platform independent as well. This can be deployed on Microsoft operating system, and this can be used any other operating system like Windows or Linux to run this application. Like this is your Android based, this your is your Windows based, and this can be your Linux based application. So platform independent, OS independent also. So API also make the life easier and simple for that developer and IT terms. I'm explaining very much basic things which will help you to understand first API, because directly going to that API, you have to understand all those benefits, what are those advantages, challenges as well. I will also come to challenge as well. So we were here actually. So we were discussing about that soap part. So you already know like that soap comes earlier before REST, and soap was only one of that service which are getting used. And soap is basically define the web service at that time, and brings those basic things like that can be a platform independent, different platforms, and and programming language independent, like that any programming language you can use to exchange information. Now my next point, in REST API we saw that okay, it's used JSON. It used also text only, not JSON. Just maybe you can send in a text as well, or any other format. But SOAP doesn't accept JSON. SOAP doesn't accept text format. It's only use the XML format, and that was the challenge actually, because XML parsing is very difficult, very time taking, and very challenging. So what happened because of this XML part? It was for XML anywhere. If you ask any developer that you have to be parse XML, it will be very time taking for him. It was always difficult to parsing in XML and work on the XML part. So that was the main disadvantage, and it's robust. It was very robustness earlier over on the REST because it was very secure. On the REST part, that time the security was not in a place. Later on, there was a JWT, OAuth, those security features came, but initially on the REST it was open. Anyone can able to exchange the information. For like if you have an weather API, company A, B, C, D can get the information because there was a not security in a place. Later on, they put all those securities, but on a SOAP perspective, from day one, it was very robust and secure. The only problem was that because of the heaviness, it's taking very much time in a parsing, and for now, everyone wanted a very quick response. Now 5G came, and you touch your finger and wanted to see a response, but SOAP take a time in exchange information, in parsing the data, and that's why it's taking a time, and it's become quite you can say that it's what also quite expensive over on a rest from design, development, and delivery all perspective. So I explain you that it's only communicate over on that XML. This also use only HTTP method, not used like that. It's also only use HTTP protocol, not any other protocol like FTP, SMTP, etc. The thing is, and the important thing is, it's only can transfer the information by using XML. I also put a term WSDL as a specification. I already told you a specification earlier when I was talking about an API, that YAML is an specification for REST APIs. YAML is getting as a specification for a REST API. Specification means contract. Again, when you are buying a property, so before that you are seeing all those details in papers, that okay, whether the registry is fine, details are fine. Those are the things in a letter. So those letter are specification or contract actually. So that we call WSDL in term of SOAP services. Is that clear? Basically for that SOAP basic part, here you can see like that. this having only employee ID, this having only an employee ID, and how exactly soap you have to be design it. So anything, whatever information you are going to be extend, that will become inside a soap body. But the structure will be like that. There will be soap envelope, like same how you are doing that. How have you ever used that postal card where you put your letter inside an envelope to send the information? It was using the same concepts. So there was an envelope. Within envelope there will be an body. Within body there will be your information. Like here I put a employee ID only for, so you can see for only one record you have to be sent this detail actually. And it was quite difficult when there will be lot more details and where will be category and subcategory basis. So to parsing up these things becomes very expensive in term of request and response, in terms of development and implementation, in terms of testing as well, and in terms of understanding as well. If you can see the JSON and YAML, you can see that how you easily you can able to understand it. But if you can share this to any non-IT person, for him or his, I mean, if you can share this information to any business person, for him or her, it will be very difficult to understand it. So in terms of all perspective, it's become very challenging for everyone. Again, soap is a very robust earlier over on rest. At the moment now, both are same in the term of robustness, I mean security perspective. But earlier, I mean few years ago, just 4 or 5 years ago, soap was still very robust platform. So this we called a soap masses. Now we have only 5 or 6 minutes, and I will explain you that how that rest work. Let me open. Just give me a minute. In meantime, can you put in a chat? Are you able to understand basic soap and rest as well? I'm looking forward for your reply, guys. If you're able to understand basic.
Hello.
Hello.
Ah,
Yeah, just 1 second. I am opening some details. So give me a second. API GitHub users. 1 second. Just give me a second. Mm, APIs. Yes. Uh, what's wrong going on? Just 1 second. I'm setting up my Postman. It seems like expire now, so not able to fetch details. Just a second. Yeah, let I installed it now. A different version. So I'm going to be explain that okay how you can use the Postman to test an APIs. For time being, in our next session, I will go through a complete application with all those REST method like get, post, put, delete. But for time now, I mean just lack of time today, I will just explain that okay what exactly by using Postman, how you can get the information. So I'm sharing a screen now of for the Postman tools, and I will also explain a bit more about the Postman as well. So here, this is a Postman tool. You may download these Postman tools. You can just download Postman, and it's free of cost. It's not like that it's taking any money from you. And you may download because in next session we are going to use this tool quite more for all those REST calls like get, push, post and delete. For time being, I'm just going to explain one of the method and how it works in using Postman. So here in basically, as I told you, there is a lot more method in HTTP like get, post, put, patch, delete, copy, head, option, link, unlink, purge, lock, unlock. So these are a method. But for the CRUD operation, we used get, post, put, and delete. These four operation we are going to be learn. So get is for, I hope you remember that when I explain a get is for retrieving a records. Delete is for deleting a record. So post is for updating is a record, put is for creating a record. So here you can see I use a method get. You can do like that here actually. So here from this side you have to be select a method get. What is a URL? URL means the API URL. So this API URL, suppose I wanted to know all the list of users who are registered into GitHub. So I put like this is the APIs, api.github.com/users. Users you can see in a plural. That's the part of API designing. If it will be in a plural, so it will be a list of records. If it will be a singular, it will be only one record. And if you will send it, you can see you will get a information. As I told you, if it will be plural, you will get list of record. You can see all these list, you get a information. Now, when you think in the perspective of provider and consumer, so you can see this, you don't know like that, okay, where this users database or user application is Java based, .NET based, Python based, VB based, any program, it doesn't matter for you because you got this information. Now you can transfer in your application whether it will be any of the language that we call platform independent and that we call language independent, which is the benefit of REST APIs, or not REST APIs, which is the benefit of SOAP services, both REST and SOAP APIs. So that is the one of key benefits, which you can say anyone, it will be impressive and the person can able to understand, you know all the features now. So your single answer will explain all the things and there will be no further question on the API. So now you can get all the records from this API perspective. Now, suppose if I wanted to see only one record, so like it will be like that. This will be users give a list of record, and if I will give that a particular username like Ankit, so it will give only Ankit record. So here you can see like Ankit Ahuja's details comes. So all the details you can see, Twitter name, type, etc. These are open APIs, so anyone can able to see that I told you at the moment. So here you can see you can able to get a particular user details. So this is something wrongs. Like I can take one more example like WY cats as well. Let's see if it's open. I can able to see. Look here, you can able to see WY cats information. So these are very basic things for the API perspective, and this is the get call over on method. How you can see that other part? You can also follow this link of the user sections regarding REST API perspective because GitHub already opened uh, its API. So you may use to understand the API. I'm giving that description in a chat after this call. Please spend some time because it will help you to understand design of the APIs, how you can extract the information, etc. Put, post, delete, and other operation I'll be explain in next session because I can't directly insert in. But suppose if I put on a post, what will happen? Then it we will get that food not food because input part we didn't we are not inserting the data. This information, this API perspective is basically for retrieving the information. When it will be like put, so what happened basically in body part I told you, you have to be give the you can see like that you can send your structure in that way. So basically you have to give your XML data here, not XML, your JSON data here. So your put, post, and delete operation, you have to be exchange the information. You have to send a body in your body what exactly you are going to insert. But this API endpoint is wrong. We call this API endpoint. Endpoint towards you are going to doing your operations. So if you will do this operation, it will be not happen because this API endpoint is not appropriate to handle this request. It's only for that get operations, not get operation REST method of REST API of only get methods. You can say get operations, but actually it's a REST operation of a get method. Here you can see you can provide a data into different format in your REST API. You can give a plain text, you can give a JSON, you can give in your XML as well. Like as I told you, SOAP work on only XML basis, but REST work on XML as well. XML, HTML, you can send your request. I am using a JSON here, but you can send your request in any of the format here. It supports plain text, text, JSON, JavaScript, XML, HTML. So it's also REST is a format independent as well, while SOAP is a format dependent, only work on the XML part. Is that clear? Now here you can see the status 200 OK. If I will do something like that, it will get to 404 or not found. So that's the last point which I'm going to explain. What are that HTTP status? That also mostly asked in the interview that okay, what are the HTTP status within the REST? Sorry. Already I explained bit REST method. Postman is a tool which is used for developer and tester for the things which I shown you to test API, to develop API, to verify API. There's a lot more securities header which I will cover not now because it will be too early for those topic for the complex things. So I'm going with that basic things which are defined or you can start now by yourself by using it. Yeah, I told you the status. So these are a status. The popular status is 200 when you get a response, successful response. So this work for the successful part. 1 minute. Battery is good. Getting down. Yeah. Let me put charger first. Yes. So 200 is for the successful response. 304 something which is not modified or unmodified. 400. The series of 41 is for that issues like 4xx we called. Like here you can see in Postman at the last part becomes when I click users double slash. Anything will be wrong in your request, in your authentication, in your data. It will become into a 400 series. So these are the popular HTTP status code. One status code which is I'm missing and I'm asking you guys what will be a response code or status code if server is down. Anyone can put in a chat. What will be status code if server is down? I mean, if you are sending information for the weather and the weather application server is down, what response or status code you will get? Basically, status code.
Sorry, can you repeat, sir?
If you are sending a request and if server is down, what status code you will get?
Shit. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
are you able to hear me?
Sorry, the voice is break and the screen is not show.
The screen is not so okay. Please tell me, guys, because sometime I am switching a screen lot, so maybe you guys not able to reach out proper screen. In case of any issues, please write in chat or speak up when there is an issue. Now able to screen my screen
Yeah.
is so no. Okay, so what I was saying that for a successful, when you send a request by Postman and get a response, not by Postman, even through HTTP request. So these are the HTTP response code or status code. For successful part, we consider 200. For any issues regarding your request part, suppose your URL is not correct, your data is not correct, there is a authentication for not proper, some validation is getting failed. For an example, there's a city, there's a zip code or postal code and you are sending a string, so that it will say that like your city code or zip code is not appropriate. So these are basically HTTP status code. There is a one popular status code also which is not mentioned here, and I asked that what it could be. Suppose when your server is down, you send a request and your server is down. For an example, we connected with the teams, but if you're trying to connect with the team server is down, what a response code or status code you will get?
503.
Sorry?
503.
Yes, so you will get series of 500. So that's all about of our today class. There is some homework which I will give you for tomorrow. It's not like that you have to be spend most of the time on a laptop and do some practice, etc. It's more about that you can download the Postman tools. I already shared GitHub APIs. You can explore and you can do some Git operations to get some confidence regarding the APIs, and you can understand get post put and delete, because tomorrow session I'll be going with that an application to perform this operation. In this week, by tomorrow we are going to do that part. In our next session we will start with that automation test part. For now we are doing the manual operation, then how we can write a script for the automation part to performing this operation. And for that part also you can get to know one of the framework, either karate or rest assured, which I will explain. That could be in our upcoming session, but let's be focused for the tomorrow. That tomorrow we will be go with that soap UI tool for the soap operation, Postman for that REST API operation, and microservices concepts. In Postman, there's a lot more that I will also explain. So for tomorrow part, download the Postman and SOAP UI tools as well if possible. But Postman, please download it and be explore that GitHub REST APIs. Already there is some documentation over there. Also go through on these two parts. That's it for today. Let me know if you have any question. You can put in a chat. Also, one more thing, an important thing, because maybe because of internet issues or some other interruption, some of you guys has been missed, or you guys want to be a visit again. We will this session will upload soon on YouTube, and the link will be forwarded you by an email. So if you have something miss, you can go through over there and you can again see, because this session is recorded, and you can get all those information again from there. So that one more important thing, and probably by today or tomorrow, most probably by today, this session will upload on YouTube, and you can get again anything if you have been missed from there. If you have any queries, you can mail, you can also write in this chat, or you can also put in the comments on YouTube as well. Also, I'm going to share the previous session as well, because I can see a lot of guys has been missed our previous session that was towards agile. So you can go through that session of the agile, because tomorrow I am going to give some assignment. I will cover up. I mean, I will do some. I will take some points and notes on that agile session to all of you guys again, so that if someone has been missed, not able to understand, he can able to get it. But at least you can go through our agile session, which has been uploaded on YouTube. You can go over there and get from there.
What is a
Let me
YouTube
also.
channel?
We just started because actually previously we are keeping each and everything in our cloud server, but for now because of that demanding from student, we started to also upload from a YouTube. So let me just share a link, because I thought it has been shared with you guys, but if not, no issues. Just 1 second. Let me open.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, just 1 minute. I'm sharing details over there. I'm sharing that link of YouTube in the chat. Just give me a second. It's taking time.
You can tell the name of the YouTube page.
Yeah, it's iTechies with the same name. You can able to get it because we started by yesterday, so I don't have a link even though I was searching. But you may search the iTechies over on YouTube, and even though this is going to share with you this session, so you will also get the previous session over there. So no problem with that. Even though in the chat and by mail, we will share with you regarding that part. Okay, that's it, guys. Let's meet again same time at tomorrow regarding to understand REST part further, SOAP UI further, and the microservice concepts. That will be in tomorrow session. How
But we
and
practice the
from where practice for beginners? That's a good question, Archana. So that's I told you. You may start download that Postman tools, and I already shared that GitHub part, that you may explore that the APIs. And now coming forward, that tomorrow I will let you know regarding this part like SOAP UI and REST Advanced, how you can do the practice more on that part. So till the time, I mean, how we are proceeding, the more other practical will get started. Your actual practical on all those things like the automation job, load testing job, and the other things. For the agile part, which I have done in my past session, that I thought to let you tomorrow how you can do the practice, you can proceed it. That I will let you tomorrow. So in meantime, you can go through the agile session because tomorrow I'll give the information how you can start practicing for the agile part. Yeah, look here, Prasant, Sunny already shared the YouTube link. So for that, the previous channel, you may guys proceed over there. And also have any queries or doubt, you may mail us as well. Or you may put into comment regarding that session as well into comment sections, because we are going to this YouTube channel use more and more regarding our job information perspective as well. We recently received some requirement that we are also going to share over there because it was quite difficult to reach out particularly. And the main thing, as I told you initially, please be also work on communication. That I'm not saying that